All right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Monday. Today we're going to be talking about the number one guard in the country, Darius Gray. That's who y'all are watching playing basketball right now at like 6'3", 6'4", 285, 290 pounds. He's a tremendous athlete. It feels like Tennessee is all in for him. Is that because we think that we're in a good spot? Or is maybe Tennessee making a mistake here? Because coming into the 2026 class, I feel like we could add maybe 2 to 3 guards. But it feels like we've only added one at this point. We've already turned down the second one that we could have added. So I'm talking about Edward Baker choosing Tennessee first, obviously to come in and play at guard or play at center. And then Brandon Anderson, there was some speculation last week that if Tennessee adds Edward Baker, then we won't be able to add Brandon Anderson. So does that make sense? And if it doesn't necessarily make sense, is it just because we're going all in for Darius Gray and we feel like we have a good shot to land him? I'll be telling you what his timeline is and all that good stuff. Please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And the first place that we need to start off at is Tennessee's current offensive line. So this is Tennessee's center room. You can see that there's 3 guys here. And look at the class for all these players. Really, you want to be about 3 deep at any spot up front. So we have 3 guys here. I think that all 3 of these guys will be coming back next season. We got a couple of young guys. We've got an older player, but he is a walk-on guy. Doesn't mean that he can't play. I'm just letting y'all know. There's some other guys at different spots that could also come in and play some center if Tennessee gets into a bind. So we'll always look for that versatility. But centers are typically going to be, number one, the smartest players on your offensive line and your offensive line, period. It's going to be really smart, but those are the smartest guys up front. They're also going to be the shortest players, okay? That's for several reasons that we won't get into. But you're seeing here that the heights go up to about 6'4". So this room, like I said, for 2026, it's fine. I don't think that we need to go out and add anybody else. We should be good moving forward. Now, looking at the guard room, this is what I was talking about, man. I think that Tennessee really does, or, should try to add at least 2 guys, maybe even 3 guys to this class just to be safe. If you can get a very highly rated player like a Darius Gray, and he's the 3rd player, that's just icing on the cake. But what we see here is that this room is also pretty young. So Wendell Moy, I could see him going pro after this year. The other guys that would be eligible to go to the NFL is Sam Pendleton and also Sham Umarov. Now, the players in blue means that they could play at different spots. So Sam Pendleton and Max Anderson, they could both play at center. And then Sham, we actually got him to play at tackle. So you can see that Sham's the tallest guy in this room at 6'7". Typically, you want for your guards to be about 6'5" and under. Now, they can be taller like a Sham, but Sham has low hips. The biggest thing about guards is that they have to be able to get low. So it's not necessarily true that, hey, you could just take a tackle, and if they don't work out there, you bump them inside and let them play guard. There is a certain skill set that you need to play at guard. So that's going to make more sense as we go further into this whole thing. But yes, there's a whole lot of youth here, and some of these guys might want to transfer out. We have no idea, but there's only 6 players here total. Next year, we would also, still have 6 because we added 1 guard to this class. And that's just if Wendell Moy leaves. Now, maybe Wendell told the staff, hey, I'm planning on staying for 2 more years, which I don't know that he could, actually say that at this point. He has no idea what his draft grade is going to be after this season. So I just wanted to kind of like lay all that out for y'all. Now let's take a look at Tennessee's tackle room. And you can see here about the same thing, right? There's 6 players. There's a lot of youth. Jesse Perry, he can play anywhere up front. I love him playing at guard and at tackle, but he can also play center. I've just never seen him playing there. So I don't know how he looks, but it sounds like he looks pretty good there. All right, so Lance Hurd, after this year, he's probably going to be going pro. At least that should be everyone's hope. That just means that he had a really, really good year, and that's going to help us to add even more good offensive linemen. So Brian Grant, he's the other vet in this room. Redshirt junior, I don't see him leaving after this year because I'm not even sure how much, he's going to get to play this year, maybe even next year. Some of these guys could transfer. You're seeing that there's several freshmen, and we can only play 2 of these guys at a time. So it would be, to me, critical to add probably, I would say at least 2 tackles to this class, but really 3, maybe even 4 would be more of a sweet spot for us moving forward, just to make sure that we have the proper depth necessary. So what does that mean whenever you look at the players that are left on Tennessee's big board? Now, obviously, the ones that are in orange, they're already part of this class. I don't see them backing out of it. Like we said, we've got a guard or center body, and then we also have a tackle body. But then you're looking, there's only one more, guard guy that's left. That is Darius Gray. Everybody wants him. And then everyone else, so, there's 3 tackles here. I think Tennessee's in a good spot for all these guys. But you have to ask yourself, do we have enough depth that if we were to add all these tackles here and we end up having four, could we allocate one of those guys to maybe being like a swing guard? Now, I think swing guard would make more sense, but a true guard, I think that that'd be tough to do. Now, who's the candidates that I feel like could actually do that? Blair and Smith. Those two guys I could see maybe playing some guard, but JB, he's a straight up tackle. I don't see him playing nothing else. Could he do it? Yeah, I mean, if we absolutely need him to, but he's a true, just pure tackle. He's 6'7", and he can bend, but I don't think he's going to be able to get as low as those other guys. Also, man, listen, guards have to be fast. Tennessee likes to pull our guards a ton, centers too, but as I've touched on, we might, do some more outside zone and stretch plays. You need those guards that can run pretty quickly because they have to, use their speed to get to the outside of the defense. So typically, those taller guys won't be as fast, as quick in a short area as some of these smaller players. And they're not always the best run blockers either, right? Like just being tall, that's better for pass blocking, is not always great for the run blocking part of things. But I just wanted to show y'all that, Tennessee really only has one more guard left on this board that we feel like we could add that we have any real shot with. Now, looking at Darius Gray's high school clips, okay, yes, he is that dude. That's why we started off with his basketball clips to show you that he's a just tremendous athlete. I would say guard, center, don't really see too much tackle, but he could play tackle if you absolutely needed him to. He can also play some D tackle for you, which that would be huge if Tennessee had a player on the line that played both ways. I've never seen it, but there's a first time for everything. I doubt that would happen, but he could definitely do it because I think he's a SEC level D tackle too. Either way, is Tennessee all in for Darius Gray? It seems like we are, just because there's no other players that I'm looking at that I say, man, they can for sure play at guard. Is that smart? I don't know because, moving forward, yes, the transfer portal, it's still a possibility, but how much does that change from year to year? Because everything's changing so much with college football. I kind of feel like, man, Darius Gray would be so worth it if we don't have, as many funds to maybe allocate to the guard spot, which I think Tennessee doesn't want to spend too much money on our guards. And I say that because if you go back to last year's class, we had Doug Utu, who I think probably this year probably would have been like the second best guard on this whole daggum team. But we let Oregon outbid us for him, And so that tells me that, well, it's not a spot that Tennessee wants to overspend at or, probably spend too much at. So we have to make sure that we have the funds necessary that's, just like left over for guys like Darius Gray. But should we maybe say, I don't know if we even want to waste our time with it and just add another body just to make sure that, we have the proper numbers and depth, because it's not just about players leaving and transferring, but players get hurt, dog. Like this is football. Players get hurt, which is why you need to be, I think, at least 3 deep at every single line spot. But Tennessee knows what they're doing. Obviously, I'm not going to try to undermine what the coaching staff has going on, but it leads me to think that we're in a really, really good spot for Darius Gray. Now, what's his timeline? So he came out earlier, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and we talked about this on Patreon first. A lot of the content that we do here, it will probably be on Patreon first, so that's a good reason for y'all to go on over there and join us, patreon.com/Bluechip Breakdown. But Darius Gray did say that he has a top 8 right now, and at some point this week, he's going to cut that down to a top 5, but he's not planning on choosing a program until maybe even after the football season. So his timeline went from possibly within like the next couple of weeks till, man, it ain't going to be till, way later this year. So a million different things could happen. Now, I think Tennessee's going to make his top 5, but with such a long time before he's going to be choosing, you have to wonder, is this really the smartest move? Because yes, the staff should have a good understanding. Like, we might be his #1 program now, but unless he's planning on choosing within like the next couple of weeks, then is it really worth it? That's my question. I don't have a good enough answer for y'all right now, but I would love to hear y'all's thoughts down in that comment section. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all on the next one. Thanks, peace. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.